Good morning, dear students. Students, today we are going to study about the complex permanent tissue. Students, suppose there is a very important and a very difficult task to accomplish. So, what you will do, or what a person or a group of people will do, they will employ some skilled personals, some skilled people, or individuals or workers so that they should be able to perform that particular work in a skilled manner so that the work should be completed successfully. Similarly, students, the plant has to conduct water, minerals, food, and various other products to different parts of the body of the plant so that the plant should be able to survive and exist and feed us in different manners to different organisms like humans, animals, and other organisms. So, students, this tissue is known as a complex permanent tissue because it contains some group of cells, more than different types of cells, different skills of cells, and this tissue is named as a complex permanent tissue because it contains more than one type of cells. That means different cells. So that is why it is named as a complex permanent tissue, students. Students, all these different cells coordinate to perform a common function. Okay, so the different cells of the complex permanent tissue, they coordinate with each other and perform a particular common function. That might be a transfer of food or minerals or the water to different parts of the plant. So growth of these tissues result in the formation of rings in the bark of the tree. As you can see in this figure, this is a bark of a tree which has been cut cross sectionally. So in this way you can see there are certain rings being formed. There are certain layer. There is a spongy tissue which is known as a pith, and cortex is a certain other tissue which is formed of a separate layer, and the epidermis is the outermost layer, and there is a cambium, and the xylem and phloem are here. Okay, these are known as the vascular tissues. So we can easily make out that the growth of these tissues result in the formation of rings in the bark of a tree. So we can, by counting the rings on the bark of the tree, we can easily assume what is the age of the tree. And the complex tissue can be divided into the xylem or phloem. Xylem is also named as wood, and the phloem is also named as bast. So as I told you, this phloem and xylem are both conducting tissues and are also named as vascular tissues and even the mechanical tissues, and they together form the vascular bundles. So do not get confused with the vascular tissues or vascular bundles, as the vascular tissues are xylem and phloem, and they together form the vascular bundles in the form of the rings on this bark of the tree. Okay, students, so in this class today we are going to study about xylem only, so please listen attentively while watching the video on xylem. So students, these are the certain cells which the xylem contain. It might be vessels, tracheids, or fibers. Now first of all, let's understand what are the xylem are and what are the main functions. Being a vascular and conductive tissue, it is a conductive, that means it is conducting water and minerals to different parts of the plant, that is from root to the different leaves and different stems and different parts of the plant or the buds. And okay, and the xylem forms a continuous channel through roots towards stems, leaves, and the aerial parts, and help in the transport of water and minerals. We can see in this figure with this case, see, the water and minerals are present in the soil and they are absorbed by the roots of this particular plant. And when the roots absorb the water and minerals by the process named as osmosis, so the roots, the water is transported to different parts of the plants, which is being pointed by this red arrow. It's getting transported to the stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, buds. Okay, so this is a way the water transport or mineral transport take place in this way, because the xylem are certain long tubes in the form of cells like vessels, tracheids, or fibers, or xylem sclerenchyma. Okay, so in this way, students, xylem forms a continuous channel through roots towards the stem, leaves, and the aerial parts, and help in the transport of water and minerals, as I told you just now in the figure. Now students, xylem is composed of 4 elements or cells named as tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem sclerenchyma or fiber. Okay, now most of the cells of the xylem are supportive tissues or are mechanical tissues, and they provide and help in the conduction of the water and minerals. So most of the tissues are dead, like sclerenchyma, tracheids, and vessels are dead tissues, and they are lignified walls. They have their cell walls are lignified with lignin, and lignin is a cementing substance which gives a much more strength to the particular part of the plant. So the xylem parenchyma is the only cell which is living. So out of all these four, that is the tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma, the vessels are the most important cells. Why? Because they are wider than the tracheids and all the other cells, and they are also shorter, and they form a long pipeline like structure to conduct the water. You can see in this figure, this is a vessel, and vessels look like a pipe or a pipe. So these pipes like structure of these vessels, a long tube like structure, they form a series of pipes forming a pipeline. अगर इसके ऊपर एक के ऊपर एक हम रख दें एक सेल को, कई सेल्स को रख दें वेसल्स के, तो क्या होगा, एक पाइपलाइन बन जाएगी और आसानी से वाटर कंडक्ट हो जाएगा, है नहीं? वी ऑल नो दैट द वाटर कैन बी इजीली कंडक्टेड थ्रू अ पाइपलाइन. So the series of pipes forming a pipeline for transporting water and dissolved minerals. So they are dead, vessels are dead as I told you, and they are shorter and wider than tracheids. So now, what is actually the function of tracheids? Tracheids also helps to conduct the water, but the tracheids do not have the tapering ends, as this tapering ends, sorry, the vessels, the tracheids do not have the transverse walls like structure. Transverse ये खुली हुई open area नहीं है इसमें. इसकी वजह से जो tracheids हैं, they transfer the water from pits. These are the dotted like structure in this figure. These are pits on this tracheid cell. So the tracheids, they are elongated cells with tapering ends. You can see these are tapering at this this shape is known as a tapering end. Okay, so they do not have open ends. As I told you, they do not have open ends like the vessels. So conduct water from cell to cell via the pits. So they conduct water from cell to cell via the pits. Now, the only living cell in the xylem is the xylem parenchyma, and it helps in the storage of food and helps in the lateral conduction of water. That means the sideways conduction of water is possible by the xylem parenchyma. As I told you, the xylem parenchyma is a packing tissue, and also it helps to store the food. So in this way, the xylem parenchyma, it stores food and helps in lateral conduction of water. And finally, the xylem fibers, which is the fourth cell present in the xylem, or out of the group of cells. So xylem fibers, they are lignified fibers which provide the mechanical strength. So they are dead as well as, you can see in this figure, this is a xylem fiber, which is a lignified fiber which provide the mechanical strength to the particular plant for conduction of water and minerals, which is the main function of the xylem tissue. And even the xylem tissue provides a mechanical strength with the help of its three lignified cells that are on the vessels, xylem parenchyma, tracheids, and xylem fibers. So students, in this figure you can easily see how the water and minerals are being conducted through different parts of the plant in this way, and this is the stiffened wall of the particular cell of the xylem, which is stiffened with lignin and providing the mechanical strength to the plant, and there are no end walls between the cells. Easily the water can be transported. So we should understand this. When a cell is lignified with walls, has lignified walls, so there's nothing present inside the cell, because it can't be present anything inside the cell, because the cell has become dead because of the presence of the lignin. So in this way, there are no end walls between the cells, so the water and the minerals are easily conducted upwards, and the water and minerals are conducted in this way, and there is one way flow only. There's no two-way flow. It is a flow from roots to the different parts of the different plants. Okay, students, so we're going to study in the next class about the phloem. So please watch it attentively and listen to my each and every point which I have expressed and explained you in this particular video. So I hope you might be able to understand this particular topic, the xylem. Thank you, students. Thank you very much.